UK. Welcome to another episode of Groovi Tuesday and the first episode of 2024. So I'd like to take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy safe new year. Oh, that came out a bit wrong, didn't it? But I know that there's not many people in the room just yet. I can see Clive's in the room over on YouTube. Good morning, Mo. Happy New Year to everybody that tunes in, either live or watches afterwards. I hope everybody had a lovely Christmas and New Year. Here comes everybody. Lovely Hazel's in the room. Helen Stevens. Lovely to be back in the room and have your company once again. I shall do my usual waffling whilst we wait for people to tune in. I can see, there we go, everyone's pulling up a chair now, getting comfortable, and yeah, looking forward to the year ahead here at Clarity Towers. Lots going to happen this year. Well, it happens every year, doesn't it? But lots of exciting new design developments, scenario situations. Yeah, the 2024 is definitely looking really good for all of us, for everybody. Whether you're tuning in live, whether you're tuning in afterwards, just all I would say is make sure that you sign up to our newsletter, which I think Sue will probably be in the room with you shortly, but I think she might be on the telephone at the moment. But she can pop a link up a little bit later. Good morning, Glynis. A little bit later for if you sign up to newsletters, then you'll be kept informed of all things Clarity, what's coming up, what we've got planned, little sneaky peeks here and there. So look, it's lovely to have everybody in the room again after, I mean, yeah, it feels as if it's been a long time, doesn't it? I mean, it was the Tuesday before Christmas. It was the night before Christmas. It was Tuesday before Christmas when I last saw you. And then I went up to TV on Thursday and Friday for Christmas and did some shows then. And yeah, I had the week off in between Christmas and New Year just to sort of chill out, recoup, did some housework, nothing exciting. Didn't watch any news, didn't go online, really just sort of, yeah, just zoned out for however many days it was. The only thing that I did keep my eye on was the lovely weather we've been experiencing of late. So what's the weather like where you've been? I mean, this I can't think what they called the next storm that's coming in at the moment. Yeah, it's been very windy, very wet down here in Kent, very grey as well. Raining and windy in Crawley. Yeah, not much the same here as well. So, and it feels a little bit nippier, even though it's meant to be warmer out. It definitely feels nippier today. Maybe because I've ventured out the house. I've been sitting indoors with the heating on for the past week. So, I hope you all got some lovely presents for Christmas. What was the weirdest present that anybody got over Christmas? Go on. There's going to be someone must have got a really what was that? All I saw was baby's bottom weather, wet and windy. I've never heard that expression before. So Sue is in the room with you, and she said the sound is all good. So she'll be joining you very shortly. But yeah, it seems to be very wet and windy and not very nice, is it? But you know what? We're staying in. We're staying in and we're going to craft along for the next hour. So, yes, just need to get back into the swing of things. New Year gremlins. No, the little gremlin is still hiding. Here he is from Sue. Haven't put him away yet. So if you're new to Groovi Tuesday, previously, towards the end of last year, we was looking at the plate mate designed by Tina Cox for the A6sq Plates. And it's all about sort of the layering So this is the Platemate, which comes with the sentiment panels, and you've got outer frames, you've got decorative corners, you've got borders and corners that you can extend, and everything else. And the whole idea was so that it worked beautifully with our Pico dies. So for those of you that are familiar with Tina Coxey's artwork, you know that she likes to build up her artwork in layers. And this is a piece of artwork here from Tina. And you can see we've got one layer here, clear parchment. We have another layer here, which is also clear parchment. Then we have the third layer here, which again is clear parchment. But what you can do, the beauty of the designs, is that you can do it all on one layer if you want to, but get the illusion of various layers. So this was the Platemate that Tina designed, and that was also accompanied by a number of layering parchlets. Okay, so I've got these ones here. So there was 2 square and 2 circular designs. And again, they've all been designed to work perfectly with the Pico dies. So if you want to create layers out of different color parchment, or you want to get the effect of layering up, then you can do that. However, what we did last year, and there's also an ideas and inspiration booklet as well, so which Tina and the design team put together. So it showcases the plates in the collection, and then it gives you some layout ideas. So we've got a finished piece of artwork there, and then it tells you what's Pico die to use if you want to create the separate layers, or alternatively do it all on one. So this is using the Dainty Daisy and Rose parchlet. Then we have the beautiful Butterfly and Sprig parchlet. So this is just a few ideas of what you can do with them. Then moving on, we've got the Pretty Poppy parchlet. Now this was the piece of artwork here that Tina created. So I thought to start off the new year, we'd work alongside this piece, and we can decide on the colours a little bit later on, whether we want to go sort of like the greys and the lemons, whether we want to go pink and green or purple and orange. It's all about having choices. Okay. And then the next one in the collection is the wonderful Wildflower parchlet as well. And then you've got some ideas and sort of images on the back to have a look at. Okay. So last year, what we did, I took this lovely piece of artwork from Jill Askham, and Jill created this on 2 pieces of parchment. So we've got our lovely lilac parchment in the background, and then clear parchment on the front. But what I decided to do was to keep it very simple and just do my interpretation of this piece of artwork. So let's have a look. Let's get it in the same position. Okay, so I used the frame that came on the Platemate here to create the frame. So I went slightly bigger than what Jill had created, but followed the sort of the layout. Replace the sentiment. I put my sentiment in here from one of those panels in the middle. Put the borders in, or the corners, chose the squares, and then we also looked at introducing colour. And we had a look at the pens, the Pergolina exclusive pens, and also the Pergolina pencils, to apply colours in different areas and just to show the difference. So if you want to see how that's created, then you can go back and watch previous episodes, because I can't believe we're up to episode 125 of Groovi Tuesday. And I know many of you have been following all the way from the start. And for that, I thank you. I really appreciate your company. So what we're going to need for today's project, okay, so I'm going to take my inspiration from this piece of artwork from Tina, and we'll change the colours, but with this time we're going to do it in 3 different layers to do that. Okay, now I've already Pico cut my parchment, the 3 sizes I've gone for. So if I bring it in the Groovi plate, just to show what pieces we're going to need. Okay, now you don't have to pico cut. I'll give you the measurements as well. So the largest piece is the largest die. The middle piece is 1, 2, 3, fourth one from the outside edge. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the one in the middle is from the outside edge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's 7, 4, and the largest. Okay, so that's what we're going to need. Now, if you don't have the Pico dies and you want to just take a piece of parchment and cut it to size, where's my ruler gone? We'll do inches first, shall we? Okay, so we need a piece of parchment that measures, where's my glasses? So that is 6¼ inches by 6¼ inches. Then the next one is, hang on, let me check that one again. Might have got my lines in the wrong place. Yeah, no, 6¼ inches, I was right. This one threw me. And then this one is 4¾ inches, thereabouts. And then the one in the middle is 3¼ inches. So that's it in inches. Now for centimeters, where's my centimeter ruler? So whether you're metric or imperial, but it's just a suggestion. So let's have a look. So centimeters, we want, I'd say about 15½ centimeters square for the largest one. And for the medium sized one is just under 12 centimeters. So go for 12 centimeters. And then the smallest one is 8 centimeters. Okay, so it's 8, 12, and 15½ centimeters. Okay, so that's if you don't have the Pico dies. So we're going to need 3 pieces of parchment. We're going to need our plate mate with our panel in there. We are also going to need, if you've only gone for one of the little parchlets, we're going to go for this one, which is, let me refer to my booklet. This is the Pretty Poppy parchlet. And I think that's all we need, because Tina's taken the design from here, the design from here, and we can adapt it. We could go for this corner, or maybe we want to introduce a corner like this, depending on the design. Okay, so that's what we're going to need, that and that. But if you want to replace the flowers, you could replace it with these ones, or you could replace it with the flowers in here. So we're going to need that, we're going to need that. We're going to need our parchment. We're going to need a tumble dry sheet. We're going to need some Groovi tabs. We're going to keep everything nice and simple, and we're just going to go with the #1 tool from the Groovi starter kit. And we need our Groovi guard. So that's all we're going to need for today's session to get us started. Okay, so if I lay that out, you can see exactly what we need. I've treated myself to a new tumble dry sheet today. New year, new tumble dry sheet. If you've got any questions, and the lovely design team are also in the room, as well as Sue. I think I saw Josie in the room, Glynis, Hazel, Jane. Don't know if I've missed anybody else. But I thought this would be a real sort of nice, gentle start back into the new year. Maybe sort of kickstart your mojo. Maybe it's been on hold over the Christmas period. And when you look at the piece of artwork that Tina's created, I mean, this would work lovely as if you're still in the Christmas mode and you're on your Christmas cards. This would make a lovely, replace that flower with another snowflake, and you've got like a snowflake border. Replace the flowers with something else from your collection. So it's all about just giving you some ideas and inspiration on what you can do. And it's about layering up. And we're going to change the color of the parchment. Now, if you already have some of our color parchment, our two-tone parchment, then you may decide to go with one of those colors. But what you need to do is just think ahead a little bit on what colors you want to go for your flowers so that it all ties in. So maybe you want to go, so your second piece would be colored parchment. Okay, I've gone for clear so we can have a look at some applying color in larger areas. And I love the way that Tina's created this gradient of color in the panel borders. Okay, so if you're going to go for the colored parchment, then your middle panel needs to be in colored parchment. Okay, right. Are we all good to go? It's lovely to have everybody's company again. If you just joined us, I will say it again, wishing you a very happy 2024. It was funny, before Christmas, it was really weird. I was working on TV proposals for January, and Barb sent me a text about 2024, the year ahead, and everything else. And I wrote back, I was sort of reading it, and then I wrote back and I went, 2024 has definitely been a year, but 2025 is going to be great. And then she wrote back, like, question mark, you're a year ahead of me. It's because I was already in 2024 back in 2023, because I was already working on 2024. Because I read the message back and I'm thinking, what? And then realized what I'd written. So yeah, so I've already arrived in 2024 back in December. Right, okay, are we good to get started? Who's going to join in, or is everybody just going to watch and enjoy the party? Well, yeah, it is a party, isn't it? It's all about having fun and enjoying the moment. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to work from the middle out. Okay, and there's a few things we need to look at when we're doing that. Okay, excuse me. So first off, I'm going to take my parchment and I'm going to wipe it with the tumble dry sheet before I forget. Now I'm working on the back, and because I've picot cut, I can feel that I have that sort of raised edge around the outside. Okay, so I'm going to take my tumble dry sheet, I'm going to push from the middle and I'm going to push outwards. Okay, so that is so that the fibers on the tumble dry sheet don't catch on the picot. Okay, so there we go. So we're on the back. Now, if we have a look at what Tina's done here, it's similar to, for those of you that enjoy your stamping and you're masking off to build up your sort of what's in front, what's in the back. So this would, if this was a stamp, you would stamp your sentiment first, then you'd put a mask on it, and then you would stamp your flowers in place afterwards. Remove the mask, and then they go behind. So it's the same principle. What we need to think about first is what sentiment we're going to put in. But before we do that, we need to put our frame in place, okay, just to give us an idea on where we need to put that panel, because I don't want to put the panel in first and then I haven't left enough space. So to start off with, we're going to go with the poppy plate. I'm going to take my parchment, make sure I'm working on the back, and look, as if by chance, it lines up perfectly with the picot die cut. Okay, so a couple of groovy tabs. New year, new groovy tabs. There we go. Make sure that that is perfectly lined up. Just come down a fraction. Left a little bit, right a little bit. There we go. So we're going to put our Groovi tabs there. Definitely going to put my glasses on, and I will zoom in a little bit so that we can focus a little bit more closely on what we're doing. So let's see, inwards, we're going to need to come in this way. There we go. Nice and close. Okay. Excuse me. So what we're going to do when we look at Tina's piece of artwork, we're going to introduce the double lines, which are on the plate, and then this string of dotted lines. Okay. So we're going to take it nice and slowly. Do we have any newbies in the year? Has anybody taken up Groovi as a new craft for the year and joined in to see what it's all about? Okay, so I've got my Groovi guard to lean on. I prefer when I'm putting a frame in to go from top to bottom. I also work from the outside inwards. Okay. So I'm going to press into the groove with the number 1 tool. Okay. Nice and slowly, no rush. And we're going to do that as well. Okay. Now for the little dashes, I'm going to use the number 1 tool to give me a nice crisp line. And for the circles, I want to emboss those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I reckon, the number 3 tool. Let me try the number 3 tool and see, because I just want a faint impression of the dots. Yeah, the number 3 tool is fine. Okay. Now, if you're new, just stick with the number 1 tool. But I reckon even if you are new, you can definitely do what we're about to do on this border. Okay. Now, because I'm using the number 3 tool, it doesn't push into the grooves so far. So therefore, I'm likely to jump out more easily. But I'm not worried about that because I've got my Groovi guard protecting the other areas. Okay. Now, just for ease, I'm going to turn that round and I'm going to do the other side. Okay. Number 1 tool for our straight line all the way down. So we're going to put our double line in place. Then number 1 tool for the dashes. That's quite high. It's like Morse code, isn't it? Dot, dot, dash, where it's all just dot, dash, dot, dash. Okay. Now I'm going to swap over to the number 3 tool and do the little circles. Okay. And if we find afterwards that we've missed a little bit, then we can realign the parchment back into the plate because it will slot back in. There we go. Just like so. Oh, it feels as if I haven't been away. It really does. Doesn't take long for me to get back in the flow. Okay, so if I lift that up, see those dots are really faint, aren't they? I get a piece of black card. Let me have a look. I just saw a bit of a tidy up. Where's the black card gone? There we go. So if I come in on this camera and see if I can lift this up. There we go. See, they're very faint, aren't they? Because what we're going to do is we're going to emboss those little dots to add a little bit more detail to our design. Okay. So there's a piece of card. So back on the overhead. So I've done both those sides. Look, it's moved. Trying to be clever. Hang on. Let's line that back up. Okay, so that's now back in place. So what I'm going to do now is reposition my Groovi tabs to the area where I've already traced out. Okay, just like so. There we go, making sure it's being held firmly in place. Okay, so then we're going to do this side. So I'm going to, see, that's not lined up. And the reason I know it's not lined up is because I've got a little bit of a shadow. Okay, stay there. There we go. That one's all right. Good starting point for the for the basis of our card, isn't it? So we're going to repeat the process. Going to come down, just like so. Going to do the dashes with the number 1. Go, nice and gently, nice and slowly. Dot, dash, dash, dash. Then number 3 tool for our circles. Now, when you do if you use the number 3 tool and you find it's a little bit faint, then you can always go with the number 2 tool, but just don't apply as much pressure when you're tracing out. Okay, there we go, just like so. And that one there. And we're going to turn around and we're going to complete our frame. Just recheck everything's in place. Number 1 tool. Oops, didn't do the outside one first. Number 1 tool first, then our dashes. There we go. So when you think about it, we're using one tiny little frame from this collection on this piece of artwork. Okay. Number 3 tool to do the little round dots. So by putting the frame in first will help when we come to choose our sentiment from the sentiment panels within the PlateMate. Okay. And that one goes just there. So let's lift away from our design. So now we have our completed frame. It looks a little bit cross-stitched, doesn't it? Yeah, I really like that effect. And obviously those little circles will really come to light when we start to do some white work a little bit later on. Okay. So what we're going to do now, if we have a look at this piece from Tina, is we're going to choose our sentiment. Okay. So within the plate that comes with the PlateMate, let's have a look at them the right way up. So we have from me to you, enjoy today, happy birthday, best wishes, someone very special, hello, celebrate, happy anniversary, get well soon, you are amazing, happy today to you. So that's nice. Thank you, thinking of you, just for you. Now, you don't have to decide now who you want to send this to. Maybe this is just your practice piece. But I think if we went for, I don't know, someone very special, it would cover various different occasions. Or you could go with happy today to you, or enjoy today. So it's all about sort of having different choices. You can use a larger panel and a smaller word in the middle. So, for example, if we have a look at what Tina's done, she's got happy today to you, which is this one. So you could put that panel in place, but then you could just put hello in the middle, or you could put just for you in the middle. Decisions. What's Jane saying? Jane's saying, if you left the circles out, it would look like faux stitching. It would indeed. That's a really good idea. Ken said, are they going to name shows clarity in the pink? Wow, watch this space. That's all I can say. Excuse me, I got a tickle in the throat. I haven't spoken so much over the past week. Okay, so because we're working from the back, we need to turn our plate backwards. And when we look at the piece of artwork, we need to put our panel, if we turn it over, the panel needs to start on this side of our piece of artwork. Okay, so I'm going to go with decisions. I'm going to go with happy birthday. Okay, because there's bound to be a birthday coming up soon enough. And what I'm going to do for my positioning is I'm looking at the lines here and my lines here, and I'm going to slot that into there. And then how far in do I want to come? And then these little dotted lines are going into the end of that box. So use the frames that are on the plate and the frames around the outside to help get the panel straight. Use them as sort of like references, as sort of guidelines. So where was I say I was going? I was going there. And then I was going there. And I'm going to go with the happy birthday one, aren't I? Yes, Paul. Yes, you are. Okay. So, Groovi tab, hold in place. That goes up there, like so. I reckon that's about right. I'm going to do everything with the number 1 tool. And I'm going to use my Groovi guard. I'm going to use the aperture so that my hand doesn't catch on the edge of the Pico cup. Okay. Nikki's loving the plate mate. What is it called? It is called Tina's layering plate mate for A6sq Groovi Plates. And the lovely Sue will pop a link up for you. Okay, I'm going with happy birthday, aren't I? So into the groove, follow it round, and we have our panel. Easy as that. Now we're going to trace out our sentiment. See, I love sentiments that are already done for me. One, because it gives me my automatic spacing, and 2, it's spelt correctly. So I haven't got to worry about doing happy and then birthday, turning it over and it says birthday happy. But birthday happy still works. So it's just remembering, and plates like this that have the sentiments already in place, if you're new to the Groovi system, then they're great for helping with that until you build up your confidence in being able to sort of like personalize. We have so many different alphabets, different sizes, different fonts in the Groovi collection. Okay. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's absolutely pouring with rain outside. I can hear it on the roof. So that's why it's great to be indoors and crafting. There we go. So we've chosen our sentiment. Okay, so we've got happy birthday, or for those of you that can read backwards, Barb's quite good at that, reading backwards and pronouncing words backwards. I'm rubbish. Just about to get it the right way round. Okay, so now we have our little sentiment box. And this, as I say, could be any of those, or you may want to just leave it as an open panel. Maybe you want to decide later on what sentiment you want to put in there. But you do need to put a panel in place. Ooh. Okay. Now we're going to swap back to our poppy plate. Now, if we, right, hang on, let's have a look at this. I'm going to turn it round so we're looking at it the right way. and I'm going to put it side by side. Okay, so what Tina's done is she's taken this one flower head here and repeated it on all 3 stalks. Okay, so it's up to you. You could take all 3 of those and do it exactly how it comes, but we're going to play around and adapt our design. Okay, and it's just this one flower head, and we're going to have a look at these stalks here and then extend our design. Okay, so let's give it a go. And at the end of the day, it's a piece of parchment. This is your practice piece. It really is. Okay, right, so let me think about this. So if I take the design exactly how it comes, okay, yep, I'm going to pop that just, so I'm relocating it back to where I started off with. And I'm going to use my Groovi tabs to hold it down, like so. Make sure it's all nice and straight. Yeah, looks good to me. And what we're going to do first is we're going to put our stalks in. Okay, so the first one is going to be this one here. And we need to make sure that we don't go within the panel. So we're going to do that. And we're going to do that one there. Then we're going to pop that one down to there. And then we're going to pop that one around here, like so. Okay, then above, we're going to do the ones above the box, like this. That one comes down, we stop at the panel. We're going to pop that one in there. So all we're doing at the moment is just creating our stalks with the leaves. Okay. Okay. So now when we take this away, you'll notice that it's away from the dotted line. But that's fine, because all I'm going to do now is realign. So all I'm doing, I've gone from here. Let's do the easy bit first. I'm going from here, and now I'm just sliding up until the dotted lines are on the inner lines of that one. Okay, so slide up, coming overhead. I'm checking my positioning here. Come on, ball. Then I'm going to continue with our line down to there and a line down to there. So that's given me, but I've still got my spaces. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to slide up further, like so, to continue with my lines. Okay, so all I'm going, you just move it around. Like if I use this one here, okay, they slot back into place. So that would have been the easiest option, Paul, was just to use this one to do your extensions. Okay, so then what we're going to do now is pop that one there. It's practice. It really is. I'm going to pop that one like so. That one like so there. Continue that one. And then this one definitely needs to go up. And a similar size flower here than it is here. So I know that this will stay within the parameters of my frame. Because all we're doing first is just creating the stalks and the stems. Okay, so that one there, and I reckon we just want to extend one more on that one just there. I reckon, or do I? Yeah, why not? Let's give it a go. Actually, I'm going to leave this one first because what I want to do is pop this one in first and the flower in. So let's line this one back up here. Okay, and I'm looking at the frame over here. So I reckon I'm just going to give it a little movement. Okay, so that, tape it down, Paul. Come on, stick with the program. What's going on in the conversation? Concentrating so hard on what I'm trying to do. I'm not partaking in the conversation this morning. But I'm sure Sue is keeping you all under control, or trying to. Okay. There we go. Round we go. Adding in, I'm just using the number 1 tool to trace out the flower head. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, so that's the first one in place. So let's put this one in place now. So hang about. There we go. See, this is great. So you can change, just think, depending on the size, I mean, if you're doing this at home and you think, well, but I like that flower best. That's great. You can use that flower, but just create a bigger frame. So maybe miss out on the smaller piece of parchment and go for the next size up if you wanted to put that on all 3 of your flowers. Okay. So let's add this flower head in now. Okay. Dot, 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 dash. I don't know, I'm saying dots, they're dashes, aren't they? And add the detail in. I think this is my favourite flower from this collection, the poppy. I think it's just so fresh and modern in design. Okay, so that is that one there. So now let's put the final one in, and I reckon I can get another stem, another row of leaves in there. And I can go back in and add more leaves on those as well. Okay, just like so. This has definitely got the creative juices flowing this morning. Who got some crafty gifts at Christmas? I'm sure many of you did. Maybe you got some Clarity gift vouchers. Okay. So what have we got coming up this week at Clarity headquarters? Well, the guys downstairs are busy picking and packing the orders that were placed between Christmas and New Year. So that will keep them busy for a while. On Thursday evening at 7 p.m, we are back in the shack with Barb at 7 p.m. Thursday evening. And then on Sunday, we have our very first Clarity craft show on Create and Craft, very first 2024. Let's start again. On Sunday, the 7th of January, is our first Create and Craft show of 2024. Did that sound right? Or did I just gobbledygook it? I probably gobbledygooked it. So it's the first Sunday of the month. Well, yeah, it is, isn't it? Where are we now? Second, first. First was yesterday. Sunday was, I lost track of what day it is. Sunday was the 31st. So yes, so Sunday, the 7th of January is the first Sunday of the month. So that means a 2-hour spectacular with lovely Barbara from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m. Lots of new goodies to tantalize and tease you with. And I'm sure Barb will give you a sneaky peek on Thursday during the Shack at 7 p.m. So make sure you tune in to that. And then we've got the usual, we've got Barb's blog. Then we've got the Clarity Matters blog on a Saturday and Sunday, Saturday Share, Sunday, step-by-step tutorials from the amazing design team. So Helen says she got vouchers, card blanks, blending stubs, eraser, dorsal oil, and a ruler. Thank you, Santa, and me, she said. Was that a little Christmas present to yourself? Yeah, why not? I think it's good to buy yourself a little Christmas present, even in January. It was a belated, Santa got lost on the way, didn't he? So any purchases that you make from Sunday's TV shows, they are either a belated Christmas present to yourself, Santa got lost, or they are an early birthday present, or early anniversary present, or a January present. We can have a present every month, can't we? We can treat ourselves once a month, January, February. So yeah. Okay, so let's have a look now. So mine's very similar, not the same, but very similar to Tina's piece of artwork. If I lay it over the top, look, that's not bad, is it? There's the frame. I'm a little bit lower on those two, a little bit higher on that one, a little bit more over there, but that's what it's all about, isn't it? But I definitely need some more leaves on this particular stalk. So let's have a look. Let's line that up. And let's put some leaves down here, like so. And then I think it needs a couple of leaves just sticking out over the top. Remembering not to go into the panel, like so. And we've got room for, I'm going to put some more, I don't know. Yes, let's go for it. Let's put some more leaves. Can never have too many leaves. There we go. So now if I turn that over, there we go. Looks a bit nicer. Oh yeah, Jane, it's a New Year's gift. Absolutely. Celebrate 2024 and treat yourself because it's 2024. Okay. So this is our first piece of artwork that we've created. Now what we can do, we can complete this in relation to the tracing out. Let's have a look at these little dots that we created. Okay. Now in the starter kit, there is an A4 black mat. So maybe, who got a starter kit for Christmas? I'm sure somebody out there must have got a starter kit for Christmas. The amount that we've sold in the lead up to Christmas, I'm sure some of you maybe too shy to put your hand up, but don't be shy. We'll be gentle. Okay, so I'm working on the back of the black mat, which is spongy. Now, if you're worried about applying too much pressure, practice on a piece of scrap parchment. Okay, so you don't, if you're trying this for the first time, don't think, oh, I've got to go straight in. Practice first. Okay, and what we're going to do is I'm going to take the number 3 tool. So we're still working on the back. I'm definitely going to take my groovy guide. I can see how it's sort of curling up, and that'll be from the heat from my hand, and because I've been working on it quite intensely. Okay. So I just had a Met Office warning. Strong winds advised. Okay. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take the number 3 ball tool and I'm just going to apply gentle pressure, and I'm just wiggling round in a little circle. Okay, so press gently and wiggle round in a circle, and then repeat all the way along the dashes. Okay, as I say, have a practice first. Warm your hand up so you feel the pressure being applied to your parchment. Okay, because if I go on too heavy and too fast, then all that's going to happen is these dots will be holes, but they will be messy holes. Okay, so if we turn this round now, you can see I come in on this camera. So you can see now how we're starting to put the little dots in place. Okay, so go back onto the overhead, turn our work around like so. Do you go left to right? Do you go right to left? It's entirely, I suppose I'm going, because I'm right-handed, I'm going right to left as if I was writing. I could start in the middle and work out. There isn't any rules to say you have to start at one end and go all the way around. Okay, just like so. So this is just adding a little bit more detail to this particular design. So let's turn it around again and continue on the next side. Now, maybe you got the pink mat for Christmas, then, or maybe you need a January 2024 Christmas present. January, oh, that's a bit. Maybe you need a 2024 present to yourself. Then for me, the pink mat would be the perfect gift to start off 2024 with. And mine is never far away when it comes to groovy. I've got mine here. Okay, and for me personally, it gives me more confidence when I'm doing my white work. But for those of you that have just recently joined the Groovi bus, maybe that's all you have at the moment is black mat. So it's just about having choices on what you have in your Groovi stash already. Okay. So what you'll notice is that I'm covering up my artwork and I'm working my way around. Now I am applying a little bit more pressure than I was when I was using the black mat. Okay, like so. So that has now given me one layer of dots. And really, I mean, if I come in really close on this one, it doesn't need any more than one layer. at all. I've got one that's a little bit dodged there, but that's fine because I can go back and correct it. This is where I first started, so I can go back in and sharpen up those. So to do that, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to work from the outside. So when I was doing it first, I was covering my work, and now this time I'm going to go this way, so my hand is outside of my work, because what can happen is that depending on how you apply the pressure, you don't necessarily get even though you're pressing in and giving a wiggle, you don't necessarily get a complete circle, if that makes sense. So if I take this like so, and I'm going to stick with the number 3 tool, and now hopefully I'll get a better dot. Move your Groovi guard. Groovi guard doesn't slide as well on the pink mat. I've just realised. That's all right, because it's holding it in place for me. There we go. So lift up, turn round. Now I've noticed that what I need to do is extend those little dashes along there, and that's fine because I can pop that back into the Groovi plate and extend those little dashes. I'm obviously doing it at an angle that I didn't go right up where I should have. Move my way along like so. Okay. So it does, even this little piece of artwork just on its own is perfect for a little quick and easy card. But what I'm going to showcase over the coming weeks is how to create the different layers, how to apply colour to larger areas, how to be more detailed with colour in certain areas. And it will be using a combination of the Pergolina pencils, the Dorso crayons, and the Perga colour pens. So we'll cover all of that over the coming weeks. So maybe you're ready now as part of your Groovi bus journey of wanting to apply colour. Alternatively, I mean, I'm using clear parchment. You can go straight in. You can use a two-tone coloured parchment. You could use designer parchment. So it's all about having choices. Okay, so let's pop this back in place like so. And then what I want to do is line that back up. Go around this way. That's lined back up in place. It's square, so it doesn't matter what way it goes in. And that goes down like so. That goes like so. And I'm going to take my number 1 tool, just make sure that's lined up with the dots. There we go. Steady hand, steady hand. Take the time to line it up. There we go. I obviously didn't go right up to the end of those little grooves, did I? Save myself some time by going back over. There we go, that's better. I just need to do... Why did I take it off? Why did you take it off, Mr. Paul? Because you wanted to check what you was doing, didn't you? Okay, line it back up. Quick couple of Groovi tabs. Never have too many Groovi tabs, because you lose them all the time. There we go. extend those little lines. It's funny, I did it on both. Nice and easy. So for this week, that is our first section completed. Okay. So there we go. So we've completed this part. Apart from the colouring, that's all we've got to at this part. So next week, we can have a look at the next frame, and then we can also have a look at the frame after, because I reckon next week will definitely be a lot faster. I'll be back up and running again on full systems and plenty of coffee and blah, 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 blah. And yeah. So don't forget, on Thursday at 7 o'clock, back in the shack with Barb, first episode of 2024. Then on Sunday on Create and Craft, Barb's first TV show of 2024, which is a 2-hour spectacular, 3 till 5. Don't forget to check out Barbara's blog, the Clarity Matters blog, and also don't forget to sign up to the newsletter, because there's lots of exciting news coming your way very, very soon. And if you don't subscribe to the newsletter, then you'll miss out. So you won't miss out. We'll find a way of letting you know what's coming up. So thank you also very much for coming back and continuing your bus journey, your groovy journey with me. Thank you as always to the lovely Sue in the room and to the amazing design team who are always there to help. Don't forget also Groovi Worldwide and Clarity Worldwide on Facebook. So until Tuesday of next week, take it easy. Stay out of this horrible weather. It is absolutely persisting down outside, according to the ceiling. I'll be in the shack with you probably on Thursday evening with Barb, because Grace is making her way back to New York. And I will see you then. Take care now. Thanks very much, everyone. Bye-bye.